Hi, my name is Amanda Brooks and I am a Client Engagement Manager at Simmons Research. Our team has created a series of short tutorials that will help you navigate through OneView. Today's session, we will focus on the Functions tab, how to create a mean and median, volume, and count coding. Let's begin. First, we will take a look at the mean and median. To create a function, you will need to select your target. For this example, let's take a look at cable networks viewed in the last 7 days. I'm going to select Animal Planet and Bravo. Now, let's take a look at the average age and median age of viewers for these networks. Age can be found in the Lifestyles Demographics folder. I'm going to select all ages, making sure there are no duplicates, right-click, and select Functions. Mean is the average and median is the midpoint. The steps are the same for both. Let's take a look at the mean first. I need to name my function, average age, mean is selected, and I can either move it to my columns or to my rows. For this, I'm going to move it to my rows since I already have data in my columns. Down here, you can see the average age is populated. Now let's take a look at the median age. The steps are the same. Right-click, Functions. Make sure you name your function, median age, select median, and I'm going to move it to my rows. And now I'm ready to run my crosstab. When you're looking at functions, you will ignore all the data points except for the weighted. So here I can see that the average age of Animal Planet viewers is 50, and the average age for Bravo viewers is 45. The median age for Animal Planet viewers is 51, and the median age for Bravo viewers is 44. Now let's repeat the same steps, and we'll take a look at household income. Household income can be found under the Demographics folder. I will select all the ranges, making sure there are no duplicates, and right-click, Functions. When you're looking at income, you're typically looking at the average. Name your function, mean is selected, and I'm going to move it to my rows, hit close, and run my crosstab. Here I can see that the average household income for Animal Planet viewers is $84,000, and the average household income for Bravo viewers is $107,000. That is how you create a mean and median. Now, we will review the volume function. The volume function allows you to get an idea of product usage, or total consumption by your target as a whole. For this example, let's take a look at how many Diet Cokes females 18 plus consumed in the last 7 days. For my target, I'm going to select females. Now, I need to locate the consumption values. Diet Coke can be found under the Beverages, Non-Alcoholic Drinks, Diet or Sugar-Free Colas folder. Here I see Diet Cola brands the number of drinks last 7 days. I'm going to take a look at Diet Coke. I'm going to select all of the options, right-click Functions. In the Functions tab, make sure you're in the Volume tab. Now I need to make sure that my midpoints have populated, which they have. I need to name it Diet Coke Consumption, and I can move it to either my columns or my rows. For this, I'm going to move it to my rows, hit close. I'm ready to run my crosstab. Here, you can read the volumetric calculation in the weighted field. So I can say females 18 plus have consumed 51,812,000 bottles of Diet Coke. That is how you use the volume function. Now let's review count coding. Count coding is a more flexible way that you can use the OR coding, and it allows you to find a target when you're running into a low sample size or creating a persona. For this example, let's take a look at attitudes around cell phones. Under Lifestyle Statements, Attitudes and Opinions, I'm going to select Any Agree. Now I can cherry pick my statements that I'm interested in, or I can select multiple at a time. For count coding, the maximum number is 9. I see that I've got 9 statements selected. I'm going to right-click, select all, right-click, Functions. Now, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the Count tab. Here we can see the upper bound. So this is the maximum. I want to take a look at anyone who agrees with 4 or more of these statements. Now I need to make sure to name my function, 4 out of 9 for simplicity. And I can add more information, move this to my columns, or move this to my rows. I'm going to move this to my rows since I already have data in my columns. Now I can see here by my sample and weighted This says that 7,467 people agree with 4 out of the 9 statements. Weighted to the U.S. population, 70,711,000 people agree with 4 or more of these statements. Now let's repeat the steps and add additional data variables into our count code. So for this, we not only can look at attitudes, but we can also add in layers of demographic information. So make sure all of the points are selected, and I hit Functions. I need to make sure I'm in the Count tab. And this time, I'm going to look at anyone who agrees with 5 or more of these statements. And instead of going to Move to Columns or Move to Rows, I'm going to hit Append to Coding Box. This is where I can add in that additional demographic information. So I'm going to take a look at males. And then I'm also going to take a look at millennial-aged males. So I'm going to go to Age, highlight 18 to 34, make sure to OR all of those selections. Now I need to name this. So I'm looking at 5 out of 9 males aged 18 to 34. I'm going to move it to my rows. As you can see, there's a big difference between the sample and weighted once I've added in additional demographic layers. So here, 563 males aged 18 to 34 agree with 5 out of 9 statements. This gives you a much more refined target. This is the end of the training session, and I hope you found it helpful. Thank you.